Hello and welcome. My name is Guillaume and today we're going to talk about the Tesla Model 3. So this is a Model 3 Standard Range Plus. This is actually my own and I've been driving it for about 6 months and it has 7,000 kilometers, so we're going to be able to talk about it, and I'm going to talk about it by itself and also compared to the other versions of the Model 3, which are the long range and the performance. So let's start by the dimensions of the car. So this car is 4.69 meters long, 1.85 meter wide and 1.44 meter in height. So this is actually quite a low car compared to many other vehicles, especially nowadays so many SUVs. And in comparison to the Model S, it's much shorter. So you can see this in a picture. We can really see the difference, and this is much more European sized. The biggest dimension difference is the width. So 1.85 is a normal width for a family car in Ireland or in Europe in general, and makes this car very livable on a daily basis. Now we have a look at the car in a bit more details. So all the Model 3 are similar, as is there's a glass roof on the top. So you've got the glass roof, you cannot open it, but this is a main feature of the Model 3. All of them are equipped this way. Then if we go to the side, you've got here a chrome line. So the chrome line is on the 2020 and 2019 models. If you get a 2021, there is no more chrome, it's just a black element. In the Tesla Model 3, there are a total of 9 cameras. So there are 3 cameras on the front here. This is watching the road. Then you've got 2 on each side and 1 in the back. You also have 1 in the interior of the vehicle, but it's not currently used for anything. Moving on here, you've got LED headlights on all the models. And if you got a long range or performance, you've got fog lights. On this Standard Range Plus, you've got this black element that's covering the fog light. That would be the only exterior element that is quite obvious, that shows that it's a standard range besides the badge. So the Tesla Model 3 has a front boot or frunk. You can open it from the tablet, the screen in the middle of the car, or you can open it as well from the app. So you just have a button on it. It's on struts. So this is quite large, so you can put probably cabin luggage or other things. Depending on the model, here the earlier model had some shopping bags hooks. They were here, but then on latest one you don't have anything. And if you have a model that's from 2021 onwards, actually this is a bit smaller, just due to the heat pump that is behind. So let's talk about the wheels now. So as standard, the standard range and the long range come with 18-inch wheels with the aero caps. So they are a bit grey and they are very aerodynamic. Those are 19-inch wheels, so they're optional on those 2 versions. And they come with different rubber, more sporty. And then on the performance version, you've got 20-inch wheels. So those 20-inch are actually, also sports tire, and they're even a bit bigger. They are not optional on any of the other versions. Do notice that from 2021, all those wheels were changed in terms of style. So this is the one that you get on 2019 and 2020 models, not on the 2021. Let's talk about the boot now. So you can open the boot, of course, like this, but also from your app or from the screen. So this is opening, and again, it is power operated from 2021 on all models. So unfortunately, this is not a hatchback. It's one of the drawbacks from this car. It's compared to a Model S particular. But you've got a really massive boot. It's very deep, high enough, and it has a secret compartment. As you can see here, it's actually very deep. So you can put really a lot of things in there. It's really impressive. I actually have the tow hitch and the spare cable and another cable and the first aid kit, and I have a few more stuff as well in there, so it's really good. Now let's talk about the charging port. So again, several ways to open it. You can do it from your screen, you can do it from the app. You just have to tap on open charge port, and you can simply tap on here and it will open it. For Europe, this is a CCS connector, so you've got AC here and DC all together. The AC port can charge up to 11 kilowatts. You can charge at 11 kilowatt on AC, so that would be 3-phase 16 amp, or single phase 32 amp, that would be 7 kilowatts. That's what you would have at home, and 11 kilowatt, that's what you have in the street. And CCS can give you up to 170 kilowatts, so this is on the standard range plus, and 250 on the long range and performance. But be aware that this is just a peak speed, so it will just ramp up around probably 10%. You can get this speed, and then it will start to slow down quite quickly after that. So it's not going to be linear, but that's like any EV. Those numbers are quite impressive, however, because this is pretty much the best you can get, especially for the price point. Now let's have a look at the cables. So your Model 3 will come with this Type 2 cable, like pretty much any EV. This is Type 2, so this is the car's end, this is your charge point's end. This is about 5 meters long, so it's quite good. On top of it, Tesla will supply with UMCs, that's a universal charger. It's this little box there. So this is the car's end, as usual, that's the Type 2. And you've got this, and on top of it you put this connector, and then you've got whatever is on the other side. This is a 3-pin adapter, but you can get a lot of different adapters like this. You can have the blue plug, the red plug one. You can have European ones, so they cost about 50 euro each, I think. Some might be a bit more expensive, I'm not sure. But yeah, that's very handy because you don't have to buy a whole cable. You can just buy this bit. On top of it, if you have the tow hitch option, it will come in a box like this. It's simply this tow hitch like this that you put manually underneath the car, and it comes with a few accessories. Now about the interior of the Model 3. So first you have to know one thing is all the Model 3 look the same inside. There are two different type of interiors, the white one and a black one. The white one is an option, but all of these interiors are similar whether you take a standard range, long range or performance. What you have to know in terms of differences is that the standard range will miss a few things, such as a few speakers. You do not see this, but the sound system is not as good as in the long range. Also, another thing that you will miss out is the rear heated seats. So the hardware is there, you can have it as an option on the standard range. It's 300 euro, you can get it from your app. But for the rest, it's quite similar. There are very, very few differences. So as you can see here, it's a very simple interior. Not too many buttons around, probably just those two here and on the doors, the windows and stuff. The center console is something that you will see as a difference depending if you have a 2021 or 2020 or an earlier. So the 2021 has a different one, doesn't have this this side here, and here it's the sliding door. Another difference is that it does have a wireless pad, so this one has, but that's an accessory that I got. On top of it here, this is not the original top. So originally you have piano black, but this is not very good. It scratches very easily and it leaves fingerprints. So most people put some sort of covering. On the 2021 onwards, you have a different material on top that doesn't take those fingerprints. So that's quite good. This hasn't changed. There is a storage inside, so it's very useful. In terms of steering wheel, you've got those two buttons here. They roll up and they go on the sides and they can be pushed in, and they actually work for many different things. While you drive, you've got the music, the sound system on the left hand side, and you've got the autopilot on the right hand side, but it could be used to other stuff when you go into the menu and try to do some adjustments. As you could see, there is no gear stick. So there is, it's one of the things to get the accessories. You just put your foot on the brake and it's just like you put the ignition. And to start, you actually directly put this lever into D, so two at the bottom, and you're into D. So, all right. So that's a very simple way to use a car. And here you've got indicators and the wipers. So nothing else. Another difference that I can talk to you about compared to the 2021 models is here you've got, I'm not sure if you can see in the camera, but there you've got an element here, a wooden or white element that is inserted on the door. That would be a difference with this model that is just black. Okay, now let's talk about the infotainment of this car, because it's obviously quite important. We've got a quite large screen here. It has all the information, so you don't have anything above the steering wheel, so you have to watch everything from the center screen. There's a few interesting elements. So you've got your car icon there at the bottom right, and you've got all your adjustment there. So it goes from, you've got quick controls, which would be like your mirrors and the steering wheel, like the lights, everything you want to adjust. But you also have your lights, like all the lights, interior as well. You've got the driving modes, you've got the autopilot setup, your navigation setup. So everything is in there in this very easy menu. The good thing is that it's very fluid, very easy to navigate. You've got the second one would be the music. So you've got music there. You can have your radios, and you can hook up, of course, a phone in Bluetooth. If you do pay €10 per month subscription, you have the premium connectivity, and this will allow you to get something extra like Spotify. So you've got a Spotify icon here, and then you've got all your Spotify playlists. You can play Spotify without the premium connectivity, but it's going to be only from your phone, but you can still use this player to go from one track to another, etc. So you can still kind of use it. Then here you've got your cameras, so you can at any time, even while you're driving, you can see your cameras. You've got your wipers, and here you've got a few more menus. You've got some the toy box, so there's a few games and things in there. Entertainment, those are games as well. That's proper games that you can play, of course, not while you're driving. You've got a web browser if you have the premium connectivity. You've got everything about charging, so everything about the schedule and the departure, the maximum limit that you want, etc. Supercharging information as well. Your energy consumption, there are very detailed graphs in here, and you've got your calendar as well, and the phone is here. Next we have the heated seats here, and you've got air conditioning. You can tap in here, and here you've got all the details, and this is also where you direct the airflow, so you can do it from there. Then you can press auto. It's all in there. You also have let's stop this. You also have here you've got some special modes. So you've got the dog mode, so if you leave your pet into the car, you can put the dog mode. And you've got a camp mode, so you want to sleep overnight, you can use that as well. It will run the heater overnight with everything off. And you've got quick accesses here with the front defroster and back here, and that's the sound if you want to adjust, if the passenger wants to adjust the sound. So that's more or less what there is. We can spend a lot of time on it, so what I will do is we'll make a longer video. So if you subscribe and click the notification bell, you're going to be notified when we release that. So we're now in the back of the Model 3. The seat is adjusted at my position. I've got good space there for my legs. I'm 1.78 meters. There's good headroom. You see there's about a fist there. And this is about the same as the front. The front has a lot of space. This is thanks to the glass roof. It's thinner than a traditional roof with a lining and metal on top of it. Other than that, in the back we've got two USB ports. Newer version of USB-C, I think still from the end of 2020, if I'm not wrong. You've got USB-C, but this is the traditional USB. Also another thing, you've got a central armrest here with two cup holders, so that's very useful. And there is an integrated headrest as well. So the middle seat is actually quite comfortable. You've got a lot of room for your feet. It's really different from usual cars where you've got a tunnel and you've got to put your feet on either side of this tunnel. So this is very flat and you can put your feet forward under the center console. So that's really good. However, the floor, I'm not sure if the floor is too high or the bench is too low, but you've got your legs a bit up. So it's if you have very tall legs, you might suffer from it on a very long distance. That's a very good middle seat anyway, compared to many other cars. So now let's talk about the drive. So the Standard Range Plus has a motor, a rear motor only of about 300 horsepower. Long range and performance have much more power, and they have a front motor as well, and they are four-wheel drives. Talk about the Standard Range Plus because that's the one I know best. It goes 0 to 100 in 5.6 seconds, so it's quite powerful. Honestly, it's more than sufficient. So unless you really need four-wheel drive or you really love to have a quick start at the traffic light, a Standard Range is more than enough. That's my opinion anyway. In terms of handling, it handles really well, really well. The ride is a bit firm though, especially with the 19-inch wheels. Probably, you know, the 18 is pretty more comfortable anyway. But it's nothing crazy. The seats are so good that it kind of compensates for the ride. Now let's talk a bit about the range because that's super important. It will depend on the battery you have. So there's a lot of different versions. You know, Tesla is changing things all the time. So the Standard Range was rated 409 kilometers in 2019-2020, and then it was bumped to 448, currently. The reason is they changed the battery. The battery is a bit bigger, it's different technology. However, it doesn't charge as fast as the older one, but it's probably temporary. Probably Tesla is going to update it with the time. The Standard Range is at 580, but it's already going 614 in some European countries. So again, there seems to be, as of today, in the end of April 2021, some updates on the long range, and the performance also has a longer range. It is 567. It's probably going to be bumped up a bit as well. So that's the different ranges. That's the WLTP, all those numbers I gave you. So out of 409, the reality for me is somewhere between 250 and 300 kilometers. I've had the car for 6 months over the winter, so this is without the heat pump. So in summer or with the heat pump, it should be much better. I'm pretty much sure you can do between 300 and 350 kilometers. Again, depending on the type of road you're doing, it varies greatly depending on your driving style. The car being powerful, you kind of tempted to drive a bit faster, a bit more aggressively than you would in a Leaf, for example. Now let's talk a bit about prices. The Standard Range Plus starts at 49,000 euro. For 10,000 euro more, you've got the long range. That's 59,000 euro, and 66, so that's another 7 grand for the performance. The performance has those bigger wheels and the rear spoiler, so a few more things, bigger brakes, so there's a few more things on top of the power. But between the long range and the standard range, it's mostly due to the power and the front motor and the 2 extra driving wheels. One thing we have to talk about, so today in April, those are the prices, but on the 1st of July the incentives in Ireland is going to change a bit, and apparently from 60,000 euro onwards there will be no more incentives. So probably just the standard range with maybe 1 or 2 options could fall under this threshold and still get around 8,000 euro. This is what we get at the moment, between 8 and 9, I think, of VRT rebate plus ISAA grant, and so that brings the price at around 50,000 euro. But if you take a long range performance, the price I just gave you might change, will change in a couple of months. So that's about it for this. So first, which one to buy? I personally really like the standard range. Actually, I'm gonna get another one. I'm selling this at the moment because I'm moving, and I'm gonna buy another one. I'm just gonna tell you right now. Personally, I don't think you need necessarily to have a really long range unless you really do your 300 or 400 kilometers every day. If you have a good network of chargers, you can drive this one for 2-3 hours and then stop and fast charge so fast that you can get a charge in half an hour and then move on. So my personal opinion is that standard range plus is good enough because you've got enough power, and the differences in terms of the stereo and the rear heated seats, that's a few more things, but that do not justify so much difference in terms of price. This is even more true with the raise of prices that is going to happen from the 1st of July. So the first advice is, if you do think of getting a long range or a performance or a standard range with a few options, you probably should look into it right now. Get a vehicle in stock, or maybe even a used one, or a new one, because in a few months with the rise of prices, the used cars are also going to gain value, so it's going to be a bit more expensive. However, if you want a standard range with just one option, for example the white interior or a different color, then you'll find the incentives stay the same, so you can wait maybe for next year if you want to buy one. This is all I wanted to tell about the Tesla Model 3. So I hope you like all this review. If you want to leave us a comment, maybe I missed something. There's so many changes and different versions of the Model 3, it's difficult to cover everything. But leave your comments below, give us a like as usual. Please subscribe to our channel to support it, and then we'll see you next weekend for another video. Thank you.